sands are silent. The Morzov family, Anton, his wife Marina, and their two children, 15-year-old Lena and 10-year-old Ilya, decided to spend the May holidays in an unusual way. Instead of a summer house or a trip to the south, they chose a hike through the desert area of Karabadar in Kazakhstan. Anton was an avid hiker, Marina was reluctant but supportive, and the children found the idea boring at first, but the hike promised adventure. The first day passed quietly. They camped at an old abandoned spring. There was not a soul around, only hot air, dry bushes, and lonely rocks on the horizon. In the evening by the fire, Lena noticed someone standing in the distance behind the hill. In the darkness, the figure seemed part of the landscape, tall, thin, immovable. "Dad, did you see it?" she asked, but Anton waved his hand. It was a mirage. In the desert, there are often mirages. But in the night, Lena woke up with a sound as if someone was driving a knife on the metal. She looked out of the tent, darkness as in a well. No figures, only an eerie silence. The second day, they went deeper into the desert. The GPS began to glitch, and the compass was moving strangely. It was twitching as if worried. Anton wrote it off to magnetic anomalies. At noon, they came across an old abandoned sub burnt out from the sun. Nearby were dried shoes and something that looked like a canister. But strangest of all, someone had written the words, "Don't look out," on the car window with a fingernail. Marina wanted to turn back, but Anton insisted. It was only 6 kilometers to the next camp. By evening, Ilya began to complain about a strange odor like rotten meat. He said that someone was following them. Anton and Lena went around the territory but found no one. But there were footprints in the sand near the camp, large, barefoot, going deep into the desert. The third night was a nightmare. At midnight, they heard someone clawing at the tent. Not the wind specifically, claws or a knife. Everyone froze. Anton slowly opened the zipper of the tent. No one. But about 10 meters away from them, something was lying on the sand. It was an old camera, a film camera. When Anton turned on the flashlight, they saw fresh bloodstains on it. He didn't want to scare the family, so he hid the camera in his backpack, and only later, when everyone was asleep, he examined it. There was a tape inside. He quickly rewound it using a flashlight and a knife. The footage was gruesome. Photos of different people taken at night, in their sleep, in their tents. Some with their eyes wide open but motionless, as if dead. The last shots were of himself, Marina, the children, shot from a few meters away. Anton almost screamed. He realized they were photographed tonight. The morning, the tents were cut. Clothes were scattered. Backpacks open, but nothing was stolen. Only a note left, carved into the leather of an old belt. "I'm closer than you think." They decided to move back urgently, but the compass went completely crazy. The GPS gave an error message. Ilya disappeared an hour after they left, just vanished, as if blown away by the wind. We searched until sunset, to no avail. Marina was hysterical. Lena found his cap next to the stone. Inside was a child's drawing. On it 4 figures at the tent, and one black with long arms and no face standing behind. Anton sent Marina and Lena ahead, saying he would catch up. But by evening they found him sitting by a tree staring into the void, all scratched up. He didn't say anything, just repeated, "He stared, I stared back." That night, Lena recorded a strange sound on the dictaphone, as if someone was breathing right at the entrance to the tent. In the morning, the recorder was broken, and in the sand again the inscription, "If you're reading this, it's too late." 3 days later, one survivor was found in the desert marina. She was walking barefoot, without water, with delirium in her eyes. She kept repeating, "He's not a man, he's a desert." Anton, Lena, and Ilya were never found. Only a camera with new film, a series of black and white pictures. The last shot, a woman standing against the sun, and behind her, a long shadow with a knife in her hand.
The maniac's backstory is Faceless Man. His real name is forgotten. In old archives, he is called Zumabek, the son of a shaman and a rogue woman who was banished from the Yol for giving birth to a non-human. He was born in the middle of the XX century in a remote part of the Kazakh steppe, not far from the Karabadar desert, where, according to legends, dwelt spirits that devoured the mind. The child was strange from birth. He was silent, did not cry, did not look into his eyes. He grew up alone with his mother in an abandoned house where the walls were scrawled with old runes and scars. All around him, animals died, as if they themselves were dying of fear. Neighbors said that at night they saw Zumabek standing at the edge of the village without moving, and in the morning they found dead birds with their eyes torn out. When he turned 12, his mother died or disappeared. That same night, the old shaman's house burned down in the village, and the bodies of 2 hunters were found nearby. Their faces were disfigured, as if they had been skinned. Zumabek himself had disappeared. It was said that he had gone into the desert, where he heard the call of the spirits. There he underwent purification and ceased to be human. Lost. People forgot. But every 10 to 15 years, in the area where Zumabek disappeared, tourists, geologists, hunters began to disappear. Their bodies were almost never found, and if they were found, without faces, without eyes, with symbols carved on their skin, ancient Turkic signs meaning silence, shadow, and oblivion. The locals have started calling him the Faceless One. They say he doesn't eat, drink, or sleep. He feeds on fear. He's not just a killer. He's the victim of an ancient ritual that crossed the line between life and death. He exists only in places where no one can scream, where sand absorbs blood and shadows seem alive. The Faceless One does not hunt for pleasure. He takes revenge. Every family, every person who enters his zone is as if part of a ritual. He recreates his death time after time, drawing new victims into his own curse.